Are you living your best life? So this is a sort of theme that I've seen on social media, probably more over the course of the last 12 months. People talking about living their best life and describing what their best life is and so on. And it does bring certain things to mind for me, especially as a business owner and as a father. I suppose it's the fear of what way social media can impact people, impact maybe your children, and all of that. So a few things I want to talk about around living your best life. First and foremost, there are some useful things I think you can take away from that phrase, living your best life, because first of all, it hopefully gets you to question what is your best life. Now, I wouldn't like to put it in those terms. I'm not a fan of that type of terminology because best life also sounds, it draws the comparison between if you're not living your best life, then are you living your worst life? And what way does that affect your mental health? What way does that affect your outlook on yourself, on your business, on your family, whatever the case may be? So I'm not a fan of the phrase, but there maybe is an opportunity there to kind of think, okay, what kind of life am I trying to live? Like, who am I? What is my business all about? What's my team all about? What are we trying to do? What problems are we trying to solve for customers? What products are we selling? And how are we doing all of this? So maybe if it leads you into questioning your business structure and your organization and who does what and are we doing things to the best of our potential, then it can be a good thing if you can flick it into those types of thoughts. But just reading some of the stuff that you'll see on social media, maybe not such a good thing. And that leads me on, I suppose, to the second point, which is, okay, if you can define what your best life is, and maybe not call it your best life, but here's the road that you're trying to go, or the journey that you're on with your business. The second part of it for me would be bearing in mind that the things you're seeing on social media in terms of best life is probably the best side of someone's life, and it's always worth bearing that in mind. Not everyone, I wouldn't say understands that, but at certain points in your life and certain points in your business, you will feel overwhelmed, you'll feel stressed, and these type of things can make you feel more overwhelmed and sort of more of an imposter and maybe make you feel like you're failing. So always bear in mind that you're only seeing a small percentage of someone's best life, and that's a even smaller percentage of your whole life. That really brings me on to the third point in all of this is I really don't believe that there's living your best life. I just think you're living your life. Maybe if you want to define it as living your best life means that you're not incapacitated, you're not in hospital for months on end, or going through some kind of mental or physical suffering, you or members of your family, then you probably are living your best life. But you're living your life. You're alive, and every day you have opportunities to do things. I'm not saying life's easy. I'm not saying business is easy. But I think it's time to maybe park a lot of that sort of stuff that we're seeing more and more on all social media platforms. And if you need to park that by taking a bit of a social break, and only consuming content online which is of use to you, and cut away all the stuff that's not just absolutely overwhelming you and it's just garbage getting fed at you all the time, and just start listening to and reading content that's useful for you. I mean, you wouldn't walk into a library and decide to start reading all the books. You would go to a particular area. You'll go to the business section, or you'll go to the horror novel section, or you'll go to the fantasy novel section. Whatever section of interest you, you'll go to the history section, whatever it is. So I think if you can bear that in mind as a good comparison for how you should consume social media content and not get involved with all of the best life scenarios, it can really hone you down to defining, who you are, what you're looking to do as a person, what you're looking to do as a business, and just consume content around that, and use what you're doing then in terms of the habits that you're building to start building habits around defining what you're trying to achieve. I mean, I kind of know myself what I want to be doing over the course of the next 10 or 15 years, how much money we have to bring in through the business to achieve that, and what way that's going to hopefully lead lifestyle to be like in the future for our family, for the children, and all of that. So if you can use stuff like this in a positive way, good. Otherwise, always bear in mind that you're only seeing the best side of someone's best life.